Hello world. Patricia O'Connor and one preoccupied Frida Reba Dorsey here. And it is a nice fall, foggy Friday. Very fall feeling. Actually, it's winter, but it's very fall feeling. December 2, I think. Happy Friday. Today I thought we would do a little walk and talk and see how everything's doing. First of all, let's get ourselves a toy or two in case we need them. Where you at? Where you at? There you go. That's my guy. So, a quick look at the Cork bark oak, and we see that the little shoots that I keep taking back, keep needing to be taken back. I'm pretty good with scissors, right-handed. I also shoot pool, right or left-handed. Never play me at pool. So, what a beautiful, beautiful day though, huh? This is kind of what fall looks like when we finally get some fall. And this is how our colors are looking. I'm learning more and more and more about my cork bark, black pine. They are, I didn't just learn this. I've known for some time that they are quite rare. But I just have been learning things about them lately, and I thought I would pass what I've been hearing and learning along. To put it one way, I keep finding that I stressed my baby perhaps a little more than I knew. When I had my situation with dieback this past summer, I had gone on in detail about how I thought it was probably started by my putting it in drip trays and letting the water level get to maybe here. And indeed, when I repotted this one, I saw a layer of the roots right here. There was a distinct line where that was easily separated. I haven't done enough repots of black pines to know if that's where it was the cutback point from last time, or if that was where the water line was when that was happening to that tree as well. Yet I think I'm getting off track. What I was trying to get at is that I had decandled this guy. The last thing I had done was like maybe within the last 2 months before my needles started going yellow and I started suffering some dieback, was I decandled the tree. I did a pretty good job of decandling the tree because I thought that I'd been falling behind on my maintenance, and I fed it. And then I hung the lights overhead, and I thought that somewhere between my being distracted hanging the lights that maybe I'd let the water get too deep, because it certainly turned yellow. What I learned this week, I was watching some videos from live chats from people who were doing demonstrations on cork bark Japanese black pine, and what they said was, these rare trees, you probably should not decandle them every year. Also, they say that when these trees get older, you need to treat them accordingly. So I thought I would pass that along. I did definitely decandle it. That was probably one of the last things I did. Whether or not that was the reason why the tree went weak on me or not, I couldn't really say. But that did put me on the back foot for a bit. And live and learn, right? As long as I don't I mean, I say as long as I don't turn around and see that it's dead, we're okay. But you know what? If you learn something, and you learn it at the cost of something like that, that's unfortunate. But that's also a good reason to take your lessons and continue, I think. So, what I would tell anybody else, and what I've said, is what I've said all along. There were times when I could have been more proactive on my learning curve for that tree, for this tree. But in the end, when all things considered, what I'm doing now is I'm looking for my tweezers in all the wrong places. How you lose your tweezers, Patricia? I want my long skinny tweezers, not the. But what I would say is the same thing. Oh, they were right in front of me. Is the same thing that I've been saying all along. These trees do not flop over dead. If you're doing right, everything will go fine. If you're doing wrong, and you're paying attention, and you're attentive, you're not just, but you're paying attention, the tree probably will give you fair warning. It will probably give you fair warning that that you're watering it too much. Don't underwater it when it's super hot. Everything else you'll probably live to fight another day. And that's what I would say about that. I'm cleaning up some more needles as I find them hiding in places on my tree. I would say this year I've learned, I felt, sometimes you feel bad about things because you think you didn't do something in time, and then later you learned you weren't supposed to anyway. I totally guilted myself about watching this tree turn yellow because I didn't know to do something, when it might also could just as easily be, the one thing I did do that I thought I was supposed to do that got me, i.e., it could have been that we had, some of these colors are indicative of root damage. So whenever it came time to look at the damage and then look and see what was possible, I think with me and my learning curve, there were a lot of things that were possible. I found a pebble in the top of this tree. A couple of days ago, I had it back over here because the wind had been down lately, and I found a pebble in it. And I'm pretty sure a squirrel probably tracked that pebble on top of that tree, like he had it stuck between his little squirrel toes or something. And so if you're out and about and you see a Japanese black pine and it is cork bark Japanese black pine, or it is a grafted, which most are, that's a rare tree. It will have to be treated a little differently. I did not realize that. I did not realize that the situation that causes, and people keep telling me they don't know what causes this. I have yet to hear somebody say that people do know what causes it, but nobody so far that I've been relying on information or who likes talking about this gives up that anyone has any idea how this gets started in a tree. But it's a very rare trait. It's probably trying to fight something off, which is why it goes cork bark, right? On a cork bark oak, we call it a cork bark because we actually use the bark for wine corks. On a cork bark black pine, we call it cork bark just because it's thick. I don't think it would probably soak up all of your wine and leave it a little piney, would be my guess. What do I know? I'm not a big drinker. Piney might be all the rage. Anyway, it's a rare condition, possibly happening to trees when they're very young. It's like you could have 1,000 seedlings there on a table, in a tray, in a room, in a grow house, and you turn around and look, and there's one. And rarer still, I mean, the holy grail / unicorn would be found in the wild. They do find them in the wild like this. And you can't like do something to make them do this. You can graft them. You can take the limbs off of one and graft them onto another pine. Various different pines, I think. But people have found also ponderosas. That was what I was going to say. The very, very rare. There's a very rare occurrence where they find a ponderosa pine. That's cork bark. I've heard of people who were bonsai masters who were into collecting from the wild trees, and that became the thing that for their life they most wanted to find. And maybe in 40 years of looking, they found one, or they saw somebody who found one. So evidently that's pretty rare and kind of a cool thing. But just to go back to that, that's what we pretty much picked up on. If you see a cork bark black pine, know that it's really special. Know that you need to pay close attention to it always and make sure that it's staying in line with your other trees. Your other trees will give you a little bit more heads up. These guys, I think you need to walk that line a little bit more. At least I know I am. When it comes to my watering and my feeding, I will. I found out that playing fast and loose with this guy and just having a good general knowledge of trying to make sure it didn't get too dry caused me to probably keep it a little too wet. And then I've probably mentioned now over the course of worrying about this tree 4 things that might have been, and it could have been a little bit of all of them. That would probably be my guess, because that is sort of the way things do tend to work. It's not the one thing that gets you. It's usually a couple of little things that just drag something down. So I just thought I would check in and do a little, you can see I pruned all the little top knots coming off of the other cork bark, the cork bark oak. I trimmed off our shoots that were coming up here and our shoots that were coming out here. And everything has got a really nice shape to it. I just now, when it comes to this guy, I just want all of these. These are our main branches, and then from here, we'll do a little cut back later when these guys get a little bigger. And we've already got a little bit of secondary going here, and then it's off to the races with some tertiary. And so yeah, that's probably about all we're gonna do today. Just do a little quick hit and run. And I think these guys are almost ready for me to be able to do a little trim work on them. I may have let too many branches get big. That looks like it's a little thick there. I don't know, it'll probably be okay. So yeah, this is our little quick check-in to see how everybody's doing. I did a little bit of, tiny little bit of needle plucking. I did a tiny little bit of, pruning on the oak. I am really at odds. There's a tree there. I am really at odds as to how to make this be the tree I want it to be. I'm about half wanting to do something like, I don't know. I think, is it a black pine? Is it a potato? I mean, what the hell is this? We'll figure it out. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Get out of there. That got it. So, thank you all for watching. Like, and subscribe. And I will see y'all again one time over the weekend. Happy Friday.